This is going to be a breakdown of a Mikuni carburetor that came off my Warrior. This is the original one that was on the bike, or quad, not a bike. I don't want people to call them a bike, they're not. This one was on the quad. It ran fine from about almost a half throttle to full throttle. It ran like a scalded dog. But down to from like a quarter to idle, it wouldn't adjust out. And I don't know why. I've had this thing apart multiple times trying to figure that out. I've got an idea of what I think may be the problem. Of all the times I've had this thing apart, there's probably been 6 or 8 times I've had it apart, I've never taken the emulsion tube out of it. Now the emulsion tube in them have some cross-drilled holes on them. That may be what the problem is, because those holes are tiny. They're smaller than the main jet hole. They look like they're about the same size as the holes that would be in the pilot jet. And if they get clogged up, it's probably not going to run right. So I'm going to give that a shot. I'm going to put it back on the quad after I get it redone and see if that's the problem. So this is going to be a video on a complete teardown of this carburetor. I've noticed on a number of carburetors, or a number of videos that I've done, carburetors included, I tend to aim the video camera too low. I don't know why. It's a chronic issue of all the videos that I've produced, and it's been, a couple of 300 of them or so. You pretty much guarantee that the video is going to be shot too low, and I miss things in the upper part of the frame. So we're going to disassemble this Warrior carburetor completely. Almost completely. There may be a couple of things I don't take completely out. I'm not going to take that tube out right there. This tube right here is what's different on this original carburetor and the aftermarket one. I put the aftermarket one comes down like that, so the throttle cable has to come in and make this angle and then go down. Now this one here, that looks like it's about a 45-degree angle, and the other one is angled, but it's not nearly that gentle. So here we go. We've got a little plastic tube there for putting all the ancillary parts we pull out. And there's a gazillion videos out there of taking carburetors apart. Now this one's a little bit unique because it's got this slide in there, and you got to disassemble parts in the top to get the slide and the needle out. And it's a little bit tricky to get that thing out. I have learned how to do it. I'll show you. I hope I don't screw it up. But one of the things I do in my videos is, it's not a how-to, how you should do it. It's not an instructional, a documentary. It's how I do it. May or may not be right. And if I run into problems, I'll show that. Because of all the documentary that I watch, particularly put on by manufacturers and things, they don't ever have any problems, and I never not have problems. Okay, there's that guy. Oops. Okay, this spring right here goes in there. That's the spring for this. This is the accelerator pump. I've got a little bit of fuel left in here, and I'm on my kitchen table, so there you go. No, I'm not married, so I get away with stuff like this. Even when I was married, my wife was golden. She didn't care much about, you know, rebuilding carburetors on the kitchen table. She was a hot rodder. She used to autocross the Z28 that we built for her to race in, and she was really good at it. This is the overflow tube. Okay. Now that's ready to go in the ultrasonic cleaner. I wish I could find the source for these wire clamps. I've got these other clamps, like these, the spring clamps, and they never fit the hoses just right. They're always just a little bit too big. And then the next size down are too small to get over it. So I need a half size. I don't know if anybody else runs into that. Okay, let's pull the float. Maybe we can pull the float. There we go. Needle looks good. It's still nice and rubbery. Nothing leaking into the floats. Let's pull the jets out. This is the main jet. And it is a, you can get my up close glasses on so I can see that. Oh, I got a magnifying glass. It's a 145. I don't know if that shows up, maybe. Let me see if I can see. It is a 145. That's what's supposed to be in it. Pilot jet's supposed to be a 42.5. Let's see, is that thing clear? Yeah, that's clear. Here's my special ground screwdriver for getting the pilots out. If it's down in this hole. There we go. I don't see a mark on this one. Oh, there is a mark on it. It's a 42.5. Let's see if I can get that to show up. So that's correct. That's what it's supposed to be for a stock Mikuni carburetor for a Yamaha Warrior Okay, that's out. Let's pull the mixture screw out. Let's see what it's at. It's 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, about 2 1/4. I've been monkeying with this, trying to get the thing to adjust out and idle right, but it just wouldn't do it. Okay. Should be a spring in there. And there's the gasket for the... I don't know if this is supposed to have an O-ring in the bottom of it or not. There's not one down there. I'll have to look in the book and see if there's supposed to be one. If there's not one, that may also be a problem. This is the seat. Now there's two different kinds of seats. This is one that's got a screen on the bottom and it's got an O-ring on it. There's a different type that just presses in, and I've got one of those. Let's see if I can find it. I don't see it over there right now, but it's actually about 2 to 3 thousandths smaller in diameter, and it does not have the O-ring in it, but it presses in. This one has got the O-ring, so these are easy to get out. Let's see. That is the accelerator pump spring. I'll put that over there. Now, let's get the accelerator pump out. Now, this right here is a little bit tricky because you got this rubber bellows on here. It's got to come off. And it's easy to screw these up and you can't find them anywhere. Aftermarket. I'm going to put a little bit of penetrating oil on that. So maybe I can get that bellows to come off without damaging it. There it goes. There's the accelerator plunger. And this is that little bellows. Now this right here is not one that came with this carburetor. I found this, I can't remember where. I'll have to look it up. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. This is made for something else, but it fits this and it works. Let's pull the choke out. You can tell this is a good one because it's brass. The aftermarket ones are plastic. This has got an O-ring on it. That choke looks good. Let's look down inside that choke bore. It looks pretty good. There's the choke port right there. Kind of see that rainbow or halo around it. But that looks good. Okay, now let's get the diaphragm and slide out. It's not a diaphragm, it's just a slide. Okay, the throttle raises that slide up and down. And the way to get that slide out is you have to take this screw out. This screw is what adjusts this rocker arm to this shaft here that goes through it for the throttle. And then you have to wiggle this thing around, and there's two screws. There's one there and one there, and this one here is a pain in the butt to get to. If you take those out, then you can get this rocker arm loose from the slide pull, and the slide will come out. Now sometimes, once you take this screw out, then this shaft right here will move back and forth. It'll slide almost completely out. It won't come completely out because it's connected to the rest of this stuff in here. And the way to get that out is take this nut off and this whole thing comes out. I hope I don't have to do that. I've done it before. Okay, that screw comes out. Now, the throttle is disconnected from that rocker arm. So I can reach in here with my finger, push that rocker arm up, and let's see if I can get this screw out. This may not be the right screwdriver to do that. Let's see if this one will fit it. Yeah, that one's taking it. You got to be careful what screwdriver you use on these things. And if you use one that's a little bit too steep, a little bit too shallow, and maybe not a JIS, if it's a standard Phillips where the nose of it's not blunted off, you can strip these screws out. And that's not fun. Okay. That screw is loose. It doesn't want to come out. Let's see if I can get him. Looks like he's still unscrewing. Yeah, that's a long screw. See if a magnet will get him. Yep. Here's that one. I'm going to put it right here in that cover tray. Now, the one on the other side is a real pain to get to. can almost see it down at the bottom there. I think I'm gonna have to pull this out. And I don't want to, because this has got a spring return and this has got a spring return on it. Why do I want to get the slide out? Well, because I want to get the emulsion tube out. And I can't get the emulsion tube out. The emulsion tube is in the center here. And it goes down this shaft, comes out where the needle goes in it. And I can't get that out with the slide in there. And I think the emulsion tube, the side holes in the emulsion tube are what the problem is. I got some Phillips headed screws. There's one there and one there. I may be able to take these two guides out. I'll go see if I can find some metric Allen wrenches. Okay, metric Allen wrenches. What size are those? Let's start here. Does that look like it's the right size? No, maybe one smaller. No, not that one. I wonder if those are star bits. They may be. That doesn't fit. Torx. It's not that. Maybe it's torque bit. I got a Torx bit set. Let me go get those. These things take, they are Torx, but they are the tamper-proof. You got to have the Torx bit with a hole in the end of it, and I've got a set of those things somewhere. The problem is I hid them from myself and I have no idea what I've done with them. So before I take this slide out, I got to get those. I ordered another set of them. They should be here in a couple of days. So it'll be 2 days for me. It'll be about half a second for you. And then I can be able to take that slide out, I hope. Okay, it's 2 days later. I had to order one of these handy dandy little security fastener kits to get these two screws out right here. Those are security. They look like Torx, but they've got a nib in the middle sticking up. So you got to have a Torx bit that's got a hole in it to fit over that. And that looks like a T20. There's a T20. I may have to go get a square drive. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Let's see. Can I do it with that? I don't think so. I got to go get a square drive. But this is a T20. That's what fits that. Got one of these little handy deals. It's a handle. You can turn it, use it like a ratchet. And this thing does ratchet. Put it on or off. Before I do that, I'm going to do something else. My whole reason for doing this is to get this rocker arm out for the slide. I've got to get the emulsion tube out, which is inside here. And it comes out that way. So you have to remove the slide to get that out. I've already taken the screws out of the top of the rocker arm where it goes with the slide But this right here has got to come out, which means this shaft right here has got to come out. Now this shaft is free from the rocker arm because I took that screw out, but I got to be able to pull this out. And I had said before that you have to take this shaft and this shaft out at the same time. That's not true. This guy's got a little snap ring on it right there. So use something small, dig that snap ring off, and this upper shaft will slide out. I've got a cloth here to catch that thing because that snap ring is so small, if that thing went ka-ching and went somewhere, I'd never find it. So I'm going to try to use a small screwdriver and snap this thing out if I can. It's on there pretty good. There it goes. There. See that little guy. I'm going to put him in a little baggie. I get these little baggies in parts that I order from wherever, Amazon, eBay, Master Tool, whoever. A lot of the hardware comes in these little tiny baggies like this. I save those things because if I put that little hickey right there someplace, I'd never find it. So I'm putting this in that and setting that aside so I know where it is. Okay, now this guy right here should slide off. There's also a spring in here that is hooked to, there's a stem right there that the spring is connected to. So if I slide this thing off, I can pull that out. Keep up with this little guy because you're going to need him. Put those things together. Set those aside. Now I can pull the slide out and the needle. I'm going to set that right there. Now I can get the emulsion tube out. The emulsion tube is here, and that is an M5, so I've got a M5 socket headed screw here. I'm going to screw that in and just put gentle pressure, and that emulsion tube is coming out. And he should drop out the top. There he is. You see those cross-drilled holes in there? There's 4 of them. And they are clogged. Those 2 are open. Those 2 are clogged. If I look down the tube, I don't know if you can see anything or not. The tube is not clogged, although you can't see well through it. I don't have something light. What can I use? Get a light. You can see through that. That's clear. I'm going to go get my micro drills and push those holes out. I'll be right back. This is the micro drill set. And when they say micro, they are micro. Some of these drill bits in here are just so small, it's not even funny. You get different ones. These are the smallest ones. These are bigger ones. And these are the biggest ones. But you get these little pin vices that you can use. You got to be careful with these too, because when you pour them out, they will run everywhere. And they are tiny. I don't know if you can see how small those things are. I'm going to measure this one just to see. And it actually is a drill bit. Zero, let's go to inches. That drill bit is 12.5 thousandths thick. That's pretty small. So I'm going to start with this one. Let me get the end of it. Oh, this is the end of it right here. This is the drill bit. See if I can get it to go through. There it goes. There's one side. This is smaller than the holes that are in this emulsion tube. Come on. There we go. That one's clear. Now that one's clear. Let's see if we can get one that's a little bigger. This one may be too big. We'll see. Yep, that one's too big. Let's get another size down. I want to make sure these will, yeah, that's a good size right there. I don't know what size that is. But those holes are now clear. Before I move anything, I'm going to bind up all these little bits, put them back in here. I don't want them going anywhere. Would be bad news if this thing tipped over and spilled all these drill bits out on the floor. Only way I'll be able to get them is with a magnet. Okay. All of those are now contained. And that goes there. Put these guys back up. I probably need to hold on to this and not put that in the container, right? Okay. Let's see. Those are clear. And those are clear. Cool. Okay, now we're going to collect up the parts that are going to go into the ultrasonic. Oh. I'm not going to remove any of this other stuff except for this diaphragm here. I'm going to take that out. A whole lot of these screws are the same size, so I like to try to keep things in the holes that they came out of, or at least with the component that I'm removing, just to make sure. You want to keep your finger on this thing right here too, because there's a spring under it. There's that. There's the diaphragm. That's from a rebuild kit. That diaphragm looks perfect. No problems with it. These are all the parts that are going to go in the ultrasonic. Oh, one more thing I'm going to take out. Let's put this in here. That doesn't need to go through the ultrasonic. That's as far down as this is going to go. Oh no, it's not either. I got one more thing. I'm going to pull this slide guide out. I said that was a T20 with a hole in it. This is a T20. Where did I put? It's right there in front of me. Okay. Probably wouldn't hurt for this to go through the ultrasonic. Know if that's going to come out or not. There's another washer right there I don't want to lose. That goes there with those guys. Now, I think this whole assembly should come out. This is plastic. not going to force it. I'll put this in the ultrasonic just like that. There's an O-ring right there. I don't want that going through the ultrasonic either. Where's a little pick? It's a flat O-ring. We'll try to remember that that goes in that hole right there. There may be another one under here, but I'm not going to pull that. This is going in the ultrasonic just like that. Let's get this out of the way. This one doesn't need to be in there, I don't think. Do I need this one? Those freaking hooks hang on to everything, don't they? There we go. We'll use the bigger one. We've got the emulsion tube. The needle seat. I'm not going to put that in there. Where's the jets? There's the main jet. There's the pilot jet. There's the accelerator pump shaft. I think that's all I'm going to put in there. Get this locked up. Now, I believe this is ready to go in the ultrasonic. I'm not going to put that in there. Okie doke. Do I need to put the choke in there? I don't think so. This got an O-ring on it. And it looks perfect. I'm not going to put the O-ring, put the choke in it. Oh. The slide. Where did that spring go? There's a spring that goes on that and hooks onto that. And it was on there when I pulled this off, and then it just went boink. Where did it go? I hope I can find that. Ouch. That's all heated up. So let's drop this guy in there. And 30 minutes. I know that's dragging the microphone crazy on that phone. I'll go see if I can find that spring now. Got it with a magnet. I found it before the garage trolls could come in and get it. So this spring right here goes on the rocker arm, on the slide. So we're good now. All we're going to do now is wait for the ultrasonic to finish. We'll bring it back in and reassemble this carburetor. Okay. Let's open this guy up now. That's the accelerator pump plunger. That's the emulsion tube. See, this has got one of the HNBR O-rings on it. Main jet. And pilot. Can't tell if the pilot's open or not. It is. That may be too bright. You can see through that. Uh-oh. Darwin, you want to go back outside, buddy? Huh? You want to go outside? You can go outside.